Hey guys, I'm just going to move the camera. I just wanted to show my face and say, hey, how you doing? Going to keep going with this journey, and whatever reveals itself is what is revealed. So I am a divine feminine on a twin flame journey, and I am not in union, which means that I am someone who's still healing and going through the healing process. I've recently, just so you know, I've just done some work on my sacral chakra, and I've had some things come through, which has been all about learning how to be, to receive appreciation, to receive material goodness, to receive good things, you know, being opening up and understanding that that it's okay for me to have material abundance, pleasure, appreciation, creativity, and this is all about learning how to appreciate that about myself, firstly, and a lot about receiving. So anyway, on that note, we'll turn to the cards. So far, I've noticed that, because I am learning, sorry, I'm going to move this, and that, I'm having a bit of fun, I've noticed that my readings that I'm doing here are very short, and it really feels like it's about for you to learn how to read the tarot. And I'm always going to explain cards. I'm always going to do things. They're like big cards. They're for like learning, you know. So if you're new to tarot, if you're new to the esoteric, if you're new to spirituality, then I can promise you that you've been brought here for a reason, that I am here to help guide you and show you and even just teach you some little basic stuff. Please forgive the camera setup that you have at the moment. I'm working on getting a vlogging camera and kit so that I can do this better and maybe just look a little bit better. But whatever, for now it's okay. My name is Krista. I am also go by Little Wren. I have a website on WordPress, littlewren.org, and that is designed in a way that is to help aid you in your spiritual healing journey. Remember, spiritual awakening, if this is new to you, if you're hearing those words for the first time, then I can assure you that you are going to be on a path that is about awakening to spirituality. And I'm here to help you and guide you, and so welcome to that. It is quite confronting. It can be a very, very painful experience. So it's a joyful experience on one hand, and it's a very painful experience on the other hand. So there's a lot of work that you probably will have to, you'll find that yourself working through, but by all means, keep working through that. Sorry if you can hear that. I'm getting a hot water tank. My hot water tank has had a hole in it, so it's getting replaced today. So my plumber is here. If you're hearing some loud banging and noises, don't worry. That's all it is. So what I was saying before is about the cards that are coming out. I've noticed that they're really about very, very basic, very simple, and really that's just to help you so you don't feel overwhelmed in what you're hearing, what you're seeing. And I want to help you in learning about what the cards mean, how to read, how to trust your intuition, and all that kind of thing. My website is designed in a way that there's this huge menu. It can look like, wow, there's so much to see, but there's a reason for that. It's so that you can learn to trust your intuition. So when you go to the website, when you look at littlewren.org on the WordPress site, it's a whole heap of writings that I've been writing for the last 3 years. So it's very poetic in nature. Firstly, it's poetic. Secondly, it is they are divinely channeled messages, and a lot of them have religious and very tarot language sometimes, or concepts that are lying behind those readings, those messages. What you do is when you read it, you look at the menu, allow your eye to be drawn to whatever pops out to you. And what I want you to do is trust what you see, what comes out to you, and look at that message. They can be very intense, they can be very full on, but that's okay. Okay, because the truth is okay, and Spirit is going to deliver the truth to you so that you can start healing. It is done with love, it's done with good intention, it's done so that you can work on whatever it is that Spirit is guiding you to work on in your life that is blocking you from your full potential and from your full blessing and your happiness. So let me encourage you to look at that. And that's all we're going to say about that for now. And we'll go to the cards. So I'm going to turn my laptop down. So like I said, I'm sorry about the poor lighting and whatever. And I don't really care too much about what I look like. A little bit, not sort of. But we're going to look straight down here, and I get very guided to use whatever cards I've got. Quite a range of cards here, you'll see. I also have some charms that I use sometimes. I'll just pull from what I intuitively feel I am guided to. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just reaching for things and start shuffling, and I'm talking, and whatever comes out is meant to come out. It is divinely guided. So welcome. KristaLittleWren.org is my website, and everything is free at the moment. Over time I will be having more things that you might be able to purchase, but for now, enjoy the process with me. And welcome to spirituality. Welcome to the esoteric, and learning to heal and trust yourself through spirituality. So we'll get going. I've already just pulled, had one card I was shuffling, and then I was like, ooh, quick, start recording. So we'll just do that, and we'll just keep going and see how we go. All right, thanks. So for those who aren't aware, who haven't seen any of the other previous videos, I channel through several various ways. I write, I draw, I speak, music comes through to me. However Spirit uses me is however Spirit uses me. I don't ask the questions, I simply allow it to happen and occur. So he certainly uses tarot, I draw, I paint and sing and speak, or whatever it is. I don't really have one way. All I know is that it is always divinely guided, and I can't do it without Spirit. So some people who consider me maybe a painter and artist, and I don't consider myself that. I consider myself a channel, and it's taken me a long time to understand, and a lot of overcoming a lot of frustration in my life to understand that when I paint or when I sing or whatever it is that happens, it is always because Spirit is speaking through me for a specific reason and for nothing else. Alright, so when I do the cards, when I shuffle, the cards just fly out, and wherever they land is wherever they land is, and that's where they're meant to be. Alright, so as you can see, there's some that's landed on the side, and this one has landed in a more upright position. So we're going to unpack it just simply as that, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so I'm just going to pull these aside because they were secondary. Sorry, I just got an email if you could hear that. And we'll just see what this is, and we'll talk through it. Okay, so we've got the Hermit card, which I resonate very strongly with. And Yeah, so we'll see. So I also have found the last two readings have most definitely been about a twin flame, both twin flame readings. If you don't know what that is, please go and Google it. You can Google up a lot of information about it. It is not a soul, it's not a normal soul connection. It's a healing connection where you have masculine, feminine energies of, that's two people who embody those two types of energies in quite an extreme way, and you have a feminine energy and a masculine energy. That doesn't mean that they have to be a female and male. It's just you can have a male who embodies the feminine energy, and you can have a female who embodies the masculine energy. And I am a divine feminine in a female body. So yeah, now the last two readings most certainly have been twin flame, and that makes perfect sense to me because I am a twin flame. So yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, yeah, this is very resonating with the last reading that we had. I do see that this is the masculine. I said this last time as well, that I feel like I'm going to be reading for masculine energies, and I feel like the masculine energies who I am connected to, maybe they've had a lot of awareness of spirituality, but there's been an avoidance or a removing of, they've been, I know, afraid of looking at it. And yet the thing that I certainly said to my masculine was that, this is divine love. It's not something to fear. It is true love, and that's what comes through from the spirit. So anyway, we look at these two things. This is quite, still see a lot of conflict. So we've got the Hermit energy. So I'll just show you this so you can see it. So the Hermit is a major arcana. So it's one of those ones that you look at, and this is the overarching energy. This is an energy of someone who has climbed the mountain, so to speak. They're on top of the mountain, and they're looking over their life. They're looking at everything, and they're using the star to guide them. The star is the star card in the major arcana is a hopeful energy, a balanced energy, but they're trying to see from an overall perspective what's really happening in their life. They're looking at pros and cons. They're looking at everything that's happened and trying to come to understanding. This is a wonderful place to be in if you're in this energy, and I encourage you, and Spirit certainly will encourage you to continue to do this, because often the reason we come to the Hermit energy is because of having so much conflict and having things not go our way, and things are all going wrong, and there's confusion, and we get to this point where it's like, stop. Just stop. I need to understand. I need to look and see why this is occurring. So this is someone who is, when I look at it, he's actually looking back, and he's looking to have perspective. So he's not looking at the future, he's looking at the past, and he's really trying to understand. This is someone who's cloaked, someone who's kind of hiding that they're doing that. They're really pulling away from the world. They're really trying to, this is introspection, okay? And these two cards that have come out on the side are so validating to Hermit energy. This is the natural response. And if you notice, they've come, they did land kind of on him midway, and they're on the side. When I read things on the side, I kind of tend to read them as this is a current energy. No decision has been made. When you see things that are decisive, it's like, holy cow, this has just happened. this is kind of mid happening, and this is can be past happening sometimes. Again, when you read cards, you need to trust your intuition and the first thing that comes to your mind and what you see. All right. So when you see this card, the Nine of Swords, this is really an awakening card. You can see this man has been asleep and suddenly he's woken up. When we look at swords in the tarot, refers to swords as like, it's a very biblical imagery of like the sword of truth. And there's a verse in the Bible that talks about a double-edged sword, so that which pierces through the kind of the heart and the bone. So this is something that there's swords that have just sliced through this person's life. It's woken them up. It's caused them to have a major rethink and awareness of what's actually been going on. So this card is a wonderful card, but it is a very dark card. It's dark because when we're in the dark, you don't know you're in the dark often. You know, you can be blinded to something and have no idea of what the truth or the reality is. And when you see it, when you suddenly realize, you have that bang, that moment of realization, you awaken and you realize what the truth has been. Now, this is the Nine of Swords, so this is the awakening card, the awakening to the reality of whatever situation this person has been in. So this, actually, I don't feel like this is actually a divine, this is not a twin flame reading, actually. I just think this is a general reading of to help you understand what we're looking at. So you have the Hermit card, who is midway through an awakening, someone who's looking over everything in their life. And this is a major change point. This is a reality check. This is I thought I was heading in this direction and I thought this is what it was, but holy cow, this is not what I thought it was. What the heck have I been in? And this is a whole new situation. If you look at the first reading, I'm pretty sure that was a Tower card, and you can see, I really encourage you to go back and look at my readings and really start to read them chronologically, so you could see the importance of understanding the cards and what's happening and why things happen in this way. So this is perfectly suitable for the Hermit card, someone who's looking back, someone who has awoken to the truth, the reality of a situation. They're midway in this and they're really processing, and frankly, that's when you get the Ten of Swords. This is, thank you, Spirit. Spirit is really doing some basic tarot reading here to help you understand and read the tarot. The Ten of Swords is the swords. You got Nine of Swords and then you got Ten of Swords. How miraculous is that? I love that. Thank you, Spirit. Because the Ten of Swords, again, I think this came out in one of my reads. I can't even remember which one it was now. But the Ten of Swords is the fullness, the completion. It's a very dark card, but as you can see, it's clearing. It clears, and despite the fact that someone has been put to death, this is very similar to I would say the Judgment card, the Death card, and the Ten of Swords. They all kind of carry that same element of death, and death it usually means there's a major shift, a major change in someone's life where they cannot behave, they can no longer be what they once were, and their life has changed because of maybe they've been betrayed. You can see they've been stabbed in the back 10 times, 10 swords, or they've awoken to their truth, and the one more sword that comes after this puts to death the old. What was can no longer be, and it's clearing the way to something else. So this is what this card means. So if you've stumbled across this, and like I said, I am someone who I find that people come to me when they're starting to awaken. I'm here to help guide you, to teach you what the tarot is, how to step into the esoteric, and not to be afraid, not to be overwhelmed, because the spiritual world is a truth that so many people struggle and are afraid of. They struggle with because it doesn't feel tangible, and yet this is something that's so tangible. Tarot is so tangible, it's so physical and so obvious, and the spirit can speak in any way, in any form, in any means, and it's here to reassure you, to guide you. They simply ask you to take their hand and step forward, and to trust them. Now, it might be very difficult, it might be very painful, but there is nothing to fear, because they want you the best outcome for you. They want you to have blessing. They want you to be fully your authentic self. They want you to have the blessings of the universe and to step into great manifestation and empowerment and love, and to experience the wonderful things of this world. And yeah, that's basically it. So I am going to pull two cards. I'm being drawn to my little, these are just single word cards, they're called destiny cards. So I just want to give you something here. It's fallen, okay, so two cards have fallen on that card. Here we go. How perfect is that? Courage. Let me show you. Courage. This is so painful. I don't want to underestimate how extraordinarily painful this process is. I do understand. I've been there, I've done it, and I continue to do it in every area of my life. Whenever there's a blockage, this is what I'm working through. But when we start courage and detail, okay, it's really something that you can rest assured that nothing is missed by spirit. Nothing at all is missed by spirit. Sorry if this is a bit shaky. It's because I'm leaning and my laptop's there. I am going to invest in something better, I promise. Whoop! Ooh, wow. Okay. All right. I am going to remove this because there's too many. Thank you, Spirit, though. Sometimes they do speak to me. This one fell out. This is one, it fell in my lap. So I'm reading that as for me. Efficiency. Yeah. That's my own little private journey. Look here, that's come down the bottom. Having courage in the details. And this is really learning about, let me show you. Okay, this is what I'm saying. It's profoundly painful. Humility. All right, my loves. You are so profoundly loved, but we do have to understand when we've been heading in the wrong direction and when we have to take a step back to look at our lives and look at what has brought us to such painful circumstances. And this is often the greatest thing you can do. And let me assure you, courage is not about bravado. It's not about ego. Courage is everything to do with humility. Okay? Courage is everything to do with humility. It's putting away pride and stepping forward and saying, I think I did the wrong thing. I think I took the wrong path. And maybe I've hurt people. Maybe I did things that weren't correct. And when we understand that this was actually something that maybe we did to ourselves, this is very humbling, okay? So, and it's extraordinarily painful. And that's okay. The bravest and courageous thing you could do is to step forward anyway and to make those changes, to remove yourself from toxicity, to say no to some things and saying yes to the right things. It's very, very difficult and very painful. But let me assure you, my loves, let me put these back. Just have a look at that one which slid out just recently. Sincerity. Spirit wants you to move forward with sincerity into your life. It's to remove bravado. When we have these moments, it's about removing pride. It's about removing the ego. And it's moving forward with honesty and integrity and sincerity. And that's what they want from you. Authenticity is the word, my friends. Authenticity. All right. I'm going to give you one of these cards, which is my Starseed Oracle. Okay. This is what they want you to tell you. Inner worlds. Okay, I'm going to bring that up so you can read it for yourself. Your external world is a reflection of reflection of your inner world. Your external world is a reflection of your inner world. This is what they mean by putting away pride that wasn't serving you. It doesn't serve you. Spiritual awakening is all about that, my loves. It's all about sincerity, authenticity, about truth, about honesty. It's about being the fullness of who you are and not having any blockages of that, because you're perfect as you are, exactly as you are. And there is nothing to fear about that. And if we're fearing that, then there's a reason that Spirit is calling you to change. So let me assure you, my darlings, that you are deeply and profoundly loved. I'm going to give you a prayer card because this is a profoundly difficult process. And I'm never going to underestimate that. Okay. So firstly, one of the things that they want you to look at is to understand the concept of loneliness. All right. I'm going to read it to you first, and then I'll leave it up here. Just hold that there for a second to see if you can read it. All right. When you stop fearing your aloneness, you stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace and love my solitude. And that's when kindred spirits can finally come. So this is my prayer for you. Okay, and I pray that, and I pray that for you now. And I truly, truly wish you love, light, and to experience the beautiful power of who you are as an individual and the uniqueness you have to offer, and the understanding that you don't need anybody else. You're perfect as you are, all alone. And the other thing they want you to consider in terms of working, what we've got to work through, is perfectionism. I'll read this to you first again. Permission to make mistakes is so freeing. It's the root of creativity and change. Allow me, Divine, to make as many mistakes as I need. Free me from the prison of perfectionism. And I'll put this up here so you can read it. Okay, sweetie. That is all we're going to do for now, because that's very heavy and that's a lot to process. And I truly wish you well. I love you, and I care that you are finding your place in this world and finding who you are. So I look forward to hearing from you. If you want to hear more, and if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing and when I do it, click the subscribe button, and also hit the grey little bell. The bell is the alert button that will just come up on your YouTube channel, and it will just alert you, and you'll see my little Wren sign. It will just come up and say that I've done another reading at the exact time that I've done it, that I've posted it. All right, my loves. I truly wish you well. Take care.